Every day, a large number of crimes are committed around the world. Even when there's a large-scale police investigation, the preponderance of these crimes goes unnoticed. These offenses range from trivial offenses such as shoplifting and minor traffic violations to more serious offenses such as sexual assaults and murder. Unless the perpetrator is a celebrity or the crime has resulted in a national or international threat, many of these crimes are not reported by the media, and therefore the public is oblivious that they have occurred. Drug-related crimes are a category of crimes that occur frequently throughout the globe. These include drug possession and distribution, the drug cultivation and production, and international drug trafficking. In the vast majority of countries around the world, the police treat drug-related crimes very seriously. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the biggest drug seizures of all time. Yeah, you heard it right. Australia 2014. 2.8 tons of amphetamines and MDMA, $1.5 billion. MDMA and amphetamines are two of the most commonly used drugs in Australia, and partygoers and racegoers use them to enhance their experience. However, these drugs have the potential to be fatal, and Australian authorities are attempting to confiscate them before they reach the streets. On November 14, 2014, they seized a massive quantity of narcotics. There were actually 2.8 tons of MDMA and methamphetamine tablets. These have been transported to Australia from Hamburg, Germany, via sea cargo container. They were concealed in containers concealed within the furniture. The estimated street value of the drugs was $1.5 billion. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, 2010. 30 tons of Captagon materials, $1.6 billion. In 2010, Saudi Arabian and Turkish authorities seized 30 tons of ingredients intended for the production of Captagon pills. This substance is also known as the jihad pill. This substance is frequently transported between the two nations, and there have been numerous seizures of it over the past 2 decades. Nonetheless, this is one of the greatest seizures ever recorded. There were sufficient ingredients to manufacture approximately $200 million psychostimulant tablets. These would have an approximate street value of $1.6 billion. The Pablo Escobar seizures, 1984. 14 tons of cocaine, $2.2 billion. Pablo Escobar was one of the most notorious cocaine traffickers in history. At the peak of his illicit activities, he was earning millions of dollars daily. He attained such a high income by selling approximately 50% of his cocaine to the United States. Due to the sale of his operation, numerous vehicles were acquired to satisfy the demand for his drugs. He would transport the narcotics using boats, planes, and helicopters, and even submarines. Many of the drugs were produced in a covert laboratory in the Tranquilandia jungle. This laboratory was equipped with its own airstrip and army. There were even dormitories and off-grid electricity and water supplies for the employees. The DEA was frantic to capture this cocaine kingpin, so they placed tracking devices on his raw materials in order to locate and seize his drugs. During the 1984 seizure, the DEA recovered approximately 14 tons of cocaine. At current prices, this was worth approximately $2.2 billion. However, this would have had a negligible impact on Pablo Escobar's estimated annual income of approximately $25 billion at the time. San Francisco bust, 1991. 1,059 pounds of heroin, $5 billion. After the 1991 bust, it became more challenging for heroin addicts in San Francisco to obtain their dose. At that time, the authorities could claim responsibility for the largest heroin seizure ever, and there's even television footage of their haul. As television crews witnessed the stash, the police were prepared to seize 1,059 pounds of China white heroin in 59 crates that arrived in the Bay Area from Thailand. The collection was worth approximately $5 million based on current street prices. Its value exceeded the DEA budget for 2010 by a significant margin. The commanders of the drug war estimated that the seizure represented 5% of the world's heroin production in 1991. California haul, 1989, 21 tons of cocaine, $13 billion. The majority of residents in a residential community in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains in California were aware that they had a delinquent neighbor. This region was home to Rafael Munoz Talavera, the leader of a major cocaine cartel. In 1989, 21 tons of cocaine were discovered in his warehouse, although this was a minor amount compared to the 77 tons of drugs that had passed through the warehouse the year before. It was a large enough haul to set a record for a drug seizure. It has a current street value of $13 billion, and the quantity is sufficient for every US citizen to consume 5 lines of cocaine. Transportation costs alone had cost Salavera $81 million for trafficking such a large quantity of narcotics. In addition to the cocaine, $12 million in currency was seized by the police. Afghanistan 2009, 92 tons of opium and poppy seeds. Priceless. Opium trafficking is one of the largest sources of revenue for terrorist groups such as the Taliban. It is estimated that roughly 90% of the world's opium comes from Afghanistan. In 2009, Afghan forces conducted an operation in which 92 tons of opium and poppy seeds were seized. Given the size of this haul, it is challenging to estimate the value of these drugs. The Afghan forces viewed this as a victory in both the war on drugs and the war on terrorism. It is considered the largest narcotic seizure ever conducted by Afghan forces. There are, however, those who argue that the seizure came at a cost. The operation was uncoordinated and ineffective, resulting in the deaths of 60 members of the armed forces. The narcotics were annihilated when the forces ordered an airstrike against the cache. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.